Hello everybody, it's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Not gonna be long. Look, you've heard me say this a million times. If you don't have at least two independent streams of income through which you hedge your primary source of income to protect you against catastrophic loss in that area, you are missing an opportunity to ensure your long-term financial security. I have created the 7-day online business launch course, which is a formula I use to reestablish myself online. It works over and over again. I've used it over and over again. Now I'm challenging you to take advantage of it. Click the link, learn more about it, enroll, and let's get started. Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable start to your week. It is Transformational Tuesday, and today's segment is brought to you by the 7-day online business launch course. I've said it many times before. If you don't have at least two independent streams of income that hedge your primary source of income, you are taking unnecessary risk and you are missing opportunities to set and establish a successful financial future. Moving on, Transformational Tuesdays. Your transformation begins with the renewing of your mind. It reminds me of the biblical scripture by Paul in Romans says, "Be renewed by the be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The renewing of your mind is actually my second book. That was a long time ago, but the need to transform your thinking is so important. Remember, your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. With that in mind, I want to bring to your attention before we move on that today is the final day that you can get in on the Mind Unleashed course, which is a very robust course built and designed to help you get rid of limiting beliefs, help you shift paradigms, help you change the narratives and the thoughts that limit your movement, that lock you into stagnancy, that create fear and apprehension, and so much more. If you want to change your situation, you have to literally renew your mind, change your mind. Your transformation is a beginning that starts with changing your thinking. And this course is designed to help you embrace self-care, help you embrace confidence, help you embrace a new idea of thinking. It is powerful. It is explosive. There's more information in the box. But here's the thing. When I created it and put it online, it was supposed to be it started at a 1-week promotion of 97. Then it jumped up to 197, which it was supposed to end on Sunday, the 30th. And I've decided to extend it today because the day is Transformational Tuesdays. And so I thought this would be a good day for that promotion end. It's going to tomorrow go up to the beta price, and the beta phase is going to be about 90 days. So we're going to test the market, see what goes on during the beta phase, and it's going to be $597. But today you can get it for $197. Let's talk about what you get for $197, and then we're going to move on. For $197, I'm in the wrong space. That's what I get. Let's try this. Here it is. You got so many courses going on. For $197, you're going to get the complete course with over 20 hours of video lectures, worksheets, guides, and over 20 modules, free lifetime membership to the Epic Realm community of high achievers. This is a group of people that I've worked with in the past that have gone on to do some pretty extraordinary thing, all in one area, ready to share with you their wealth of experience and knowledge. 1-year action plan designed by the team. This is a $997 value. Personal intro onboarding session with yours truly. This is a $500 value. The Dynamic of Transformation ebook, which is the electronic version of book number 2. free personalized transformation guide, your very own transformation guide based on your goals, aspirations, and dreams. This is a multi-page guide of how you go about transforming and changing your trajectory in your life, built based on your personality, your strengths, and it's a $395 value. Living Life at the Next Level ebook, free. Free course follow-up and action plan. Again, $597 value. So for $197, you get all of that. And I guarantee you, if you follow this course, it's going to shift you. The first module is going to change. It's going to really shift you. Anybody who knows me, anybody who follows me knows I don't do anything light. I'm highly detailed. I'm very comprehensive. Uh, and there's a reason for that. I don't like to take steps out, because when you take steps out, you miss things. It seems easy. It makes it exciting. Well, you 1, 2 steps in, and when the truth is you need 10 steps to get there. And when you take these steps out, you got components, but you don't have the entire equation. And so many people are out chasing things using a fractured equation. And I love to give people as much of the dynamic as that I'm aware of, that has worked, that I have seen, that I have used myself, that I use with my clients. And this course is that thing. So the link is in the description box. So move on. So today is Transformational Tuesday. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. What is the renewing of your mind? The renewing of your mind is the ability to take on new ideas, new information, and people get locked into a dogmatic idea, this paradigm that's so strong. And when matter of fact, the first online course I ever created was um, the Power of Paradigms course. And what is a paradigm? A paradigm is literally the mental construct that serves as the lens through which you view life. It tells you what you can do, what you can't do, what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, what social areas you fit in, what things are moral and acceptable, what things are immoral and unacceptable. It's literally the construct, the mental construct that governs how you live your life. If you have a paradigm that says, I come from poverty, therefore poverty is my lot in life, no matter how many opportunities are placed in front of you to escape poverty, you will never escape it, because that paradigm is so strong that it will literally move you towards the things that keep you in poverty. That works for poor relationships, that works for poor career choices, that works for low self-esteem. It works for everything. So what you must be able to do is encounter new information. New, guy says, scripture says that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And it goes and says that you because you have rejected knowledge, it's not that the knowledge isn't there. It's that we have a tendency, because of what is known as cognitive dissonance, to reject new knowledge that challenges the current paradigm. What does that mean? That means that cognitive dissonance is this mental and emotional discomfort you get when you have two truths that are placed that are placed in juxtaposition to one another simultaneously, and they are diametrically opposed to one another. In other words, they are the opposites, and you are holding one truth, but there's this new idea that says the truth that you've been holding isn't valid. And there's a level of discomfort that just simply comes with understanding that a belief that I hold may not be a real belief. And depending on how much of your sense of self is anchored in the belief will determine how hard you fight to defend it. And so you'll literally dismiss a new truth because it doesn't align up with your current reality or your current view or your current paradigm. And the problem is there's no renewing of the mind in that. So there's no transformation and there's no evolution and there's no growth. And so what you have to be willing to do is be willing to encounter new information and examine it at face value and ask yourself, is it possible that what I've been thinking my entire life may not be what it is? And if you are in a space where you are living a life that isn't producing for you a sense of hope, a sense of growth, a sense of elevation. If you're not moving from level to level, if you're not graduating and gradually progressing and becoming something better than you were the year before, in every element and area and aspect, there are going to be some places where you're extremely strong. There are going to be some places where you're not as strong. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. That's life. And you're supposed to anchor yourself and function in your strengths. They're your strengths for a reason. Do you want to shore up your weaknesses? Absolutely. But one of the things that I tell people, and it kind of catches them off guard, is if you spend too much time trying to make your weaknesses your strengths, what you will end up doing is neglecting your strengths and losing your footing. Your strengths are a representation and connectivity and association with your gifting. Your gift is what you have that's inherent and is the source of your assurance that you can do exceptional and extraordinary things in this world. The book of Proverbs says that your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men. And what that means is that when you are able to operate in your gifting, when you're able to operate in this inherent thing that's on the inside of you, that's unique and special and for you, and associated and assigned to your purpose, there are some extraordinary things that you will be able to do. But it will make space for you. It will open up opportunities for you. It will put you before great men who are able to take you and push you and present you in ways that you would not otherwise be able to. But the problem is we live in a society that does not always represent or acknowledge the gift. We live in a society that likes to create the herd mentality where everybody is doing the same thing. Everybody's judged on the same level of learning. Everybody's taught things the same way. We are not looking for the gifts in our children. We are trying to make sure that they are able to do X, Y, Z like every other child. And we're missing an opportunity to channel them towards their greatness. And it's coming back to haunt them later in life. And they don't understand why. Sometimes by the time you really get a yearning to do something great, you don't even know what your gift is because it's been buried under years and years of mediocrity and assignment to average, trying to be what everybody else is and do what everybody else does and operate on what everyone else says you should do, instead of really bosom of your gifting, in this uniqueness that God placed inside of you that was meant to take you to places that you would not otherwise be willing or able to go. And so then you again must be willing to engage a new idea. The new idea may be that poverty is not your lot in life. The new idea may be that suffering is not your lot in life. The new idea may be that being locked into this social construct of staggered and stagnant mobility is not your lot in life. Maybe the new idea is that there is nothing impossible for you. Maybe the new idea is that when I decide to stand up and move out, there's absolutely nothing, no one or anyone that can stop me. Anything that tries to stop my destiny only ensures that it happens. The very definition of the word. But I must be willing to engage something new, a new idea, something. And then I should be searching for the liberating idea that unleashes my mind. That's why I created the Mind Unleashed. That's got to be something that unleashes my mind, because God gave us an imagination. And in this imagination, we are able to come up with ideas of things never done and do them. Because of the imagination we have the pyramids, because of the imagination we have the hanging gardens of Babylon, because of the imagination we have the cell phone, because of the imagination we have airplanes, because of the imagination we are pursuing depths and things, because of the imagination we're literally here having a video where anyone anywhere in the world with an internet connection can literally tap in and listen and actually see the person speaking because someone used their imagination. But we live in a world where we are constantly squeezing it out of our children. Get your head out of the clouds. Stop daydreaming. Focus on what you're supposed to be doing. That's not realistic. Let's be a little bit more level-headed in our aspirations and our visions and our dreams. You're reaching too high. Calm down. We think we're protecting them, but what we're actually doing is we're placing limitations on them that most of them will accept and never even pursue half of what they're capable of doing because you've already told them it was impossible. I'm pretty sure when Orville and Wilbur said, we're going to make something that flies through the air like a bird, everybody thought they were idiots. But fortunately, they pursued what their imagination had presented to them. I'm pretty sure when Alexander Graham Bell decided to create a device that you could plug in to the wall and talk to somebody in another city, that people thought they were crazy, that he was crazy. And same thing with the cell phone, same thing with video conferencing, same thing with electric cars that could travel hundreds of miles without recharging, self-parking, self-driving vehicles. All of these things at one point in time was considered fancy thought and unrealistic, but whatever you can conceive in your mind, it's God's evidence that it's possible. But you've got to unleash the mind in order to be willing to reach into this infinite space of thought and ideas and pull in this thing that can totally change your life. You've got to unleash your mind and explore new ideas of possibility in order to gain ground and do things. You weren't put here to simply exist. You weren't put here to go through life in a state of survival. I'm not saying that life isn't going to have its challenges. It's filled with challenges, but you're built for the battle. You are shaped and molded and created to overcome every challenge that you face, but you got to believe that there's something greater inside of you than you've tapped into, or you're going to always succumb to the pressure of the pushback moment in your life. Statistics tell me that 85% of Americans wake up every day and go to work to a job they hate. And they do this because they have accepted the belief that this is the only way that they can live, that they can survive, that they can take care of their responsibilities. They have never ventured out into the idea that there's a better job, first of all, and that they can train, even if they're not qualified for the better job, that they can train for it. They can become qualified. They're never stopped or blocked into where they are mentally, emotionally, psychologically, in skill set. They can always become better. And whatever I become, I create the capacity to have. So that part, then they definitely don't venture into the idea, maybe I can create my own space and my own way of using my skill set that's being exploited by my employer and do something great with it and still make a living off of it. And I can now wake up every day excited about what I do instead of going to work miserable. In studying the same statistical study that showed me that 85% of Americans wake up every day and go to a job they hate, It tells me that 80% of Americans have their first heart attack on Monday morning between 5 a.m. and noon. Why is that? That's the first day going back to a job I hate, people I can't stand, feeling underappreciated, and I've got to do it for another 5 days. That's the most stressful day of the week. You are going to have to understand that you literally have the power to set yourself free. And I don't want to give you the idea that this is going to be easy. It's challenging, but anything worth having is challenging. Anything of intrinsic value, it's going to call for some investment in self, some investment of your time, some investment of your faith, some investment of your courage, some investment of your financial resources. It's going to call for you to step outside of your comfort zone and explore new ideas and new possibilities that on the surface seem a little far-fetched. But you weren't put here to meander through the maze of mediocrity. You weren't put here to hike out in the box of average. You were put here to be a representation of the Creator, a representation of the one that planted your gift inside of you. There should be something in your life that is reflective of the God that you claim, that you sit up and you look at and you say, shoot, if I am a part of this thing, then that should be some reflection. There's nothing mediocre about God. There's nothing average about God. There's nothing hopeless about God. Then why are you constantly in this fix where you feel stagnated? I'm not telling you that there aren't going to be issues. There aren't going to be circumstances. There aren't going to be difficult moments. I'm telling you that's par for the course. What I'm telling you is that when you truly understand who you are, when you open your mind to the possibilities of what's capable, when you tap into your gifting, you start to understand that it can't break me, it can't destroy me, it can't stop me. I'm built for this. I was sharing as I was promoting the 7-day online business launch course. I was sharing that right now I have 11 primary entities that I created online after the business conglomerate empire, whatever you want to call it, I built up until the early mid 2000s started to crumble. And I looked and realized I had to rebuild it again. I built that 11. Now, there are a lot more things I have online than those 11, but those 11s are mine. They're branded. They're set up their own individual independent entities operating under Rick Wallace Enterprises. And I did it simply from an idea that I'm built for it, that I would not be stopped. And what I want to tell you is that it hasn't been easy. There's been challenges. There are constant, consistent moments of challenge. But one thing, and one of the new ideas that I had to embrace, if I was ever going to do something beyond what was average, I was going to have to embrace the idea that you don't get to coast through life, that life is fair. I had to put that stuff out of the way because I found out life isn't fair. There are people out there that are getting things that you work 3 times as hard for. They're getting it for less. But there's a back end to that. So life balances out, but opportunities come to those who create them. George Bernard Shaw said that he doesn't believe in the control or influence of circumstances. Circumstances exist, but here's the truth. The people who get on in this world, the people who wake up, go out into the world and create the circumstances that they need and desire. And if they find the circumstances that they need and desire. If they don't exist, they create them. I say mine a little differently, but it's the same thing. People look at you and they start to look at what you're dealing with. They start to look at what you're going through. They start to look at the circumstance. And they become baffled because you're smiling. They become baffled because you're not becoming frenetic and unglued and unhinged because of the circumstance. What they don't realize is that you know there's something bigger in you. There's a connection between you and the creator. There's this spiritual line to the resource and the source that ensures you that whatever you need to overcome this thing is within your grasp, that the answer is always on its way. And so what happens is I see the circumstance, but if it's not the circumstance that I desire, there's something in my spirit that disagrees with the circumstance. There's something in my spirit that challenges the circumstance. There's something in my spirit that says there is something beyond the circumstance. So I'm never caught up in what I'm going through. I'm always focused on where I'm going. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's not just the entities. It's the other things that have been done. 11 entities online, 26 books published, over 1,000 academic articles. And I'm just a kid from the hood. Grew up in a 2-bedroom shotgun house with my great grandparents. But I was allowed to dream. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Can't get caught in the same old stale thought process and expect new things to happen. That's the basics of it. Look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. Like I said in the beginning, if you guys really want an opportunity, this is the last day to get the Mind Unleashed course at $197. Starting tomorrow, it goes up to the beta probationary price of $597, and it'll be there for approximately 90 days before we make the final adjustment to the price. And more than likely, it will go up depending on the market, go up even more. But right now, you can get it today for $197. That is $197. Everything that I mentioned in the beginning, you can look in the description box of wherever you're watching this and see for yourself what you get. Click that link, sign up, take advantage of it. Let's get you started on the renewing of your mind. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I'm challenging you to do the same thing. Don't leave anything undone in this world. I have been at the bedside of people who are transitioning, and I've seen 3 types of people. There's the person who is just kind of lost. You can't, they're just empty. It's like, okay, here we are. And then there is the person who went out there and gave it everything they had. And there's this sense of calm. There's no panic. There's no anxiety. There's no fear. There's no terror. They're at peace. They're at oneness with what's going on. And they are sure and certain of what they've done and what comes next. And they're at peace. And it's one of the most beautiful things to see somebody who walked it and lived it and left the legacy of the greatness that was instilled in their gift. And then there is the person who left some things undone, that coasted through life, or just sit back and tried to play safe, or just sit up and squandered opportunity after opportunity to show up and represent with their gifting. And it's absolute terror in their eyes. They're everything but at ease. So don't take it to the grave. That potential that God planted in you was meant to be accessed, activated, and actualized here in this life. Wake up every day and go hard in the paint. Leave it all out there. Because when that 86,400 seconds in this day is gone, it's gone forever. That's my challenge to you. On that note, look, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I thank you guys for giving me 30 minutes of your time. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.